Sidechaining is a technique by which signal from one track is sent to another track to create interesting effects. In this project, we'll use a gate to give a chord progression a stutter effect. I've got a pad loaded into this MIDI track, and I'm happy with the sound, but I'd like it to stutter. To do this, go to the audio effects and choose Gate. Either drag it on over to your track, or double-click Gate when your track is in focus. When we were working with the PA system in the auditorium, we used the gate setting on the microphones to make sure they were not sending signal to the mixing board all the time. With the gate enabled, audio signal had to be greater than the threshold we set, or the gate would close and no signal would pass through. This is what's going to give us our stutter effect. We need something that will punch through the gate threshold at regular intervals to open and close the gate. Then we'll send that signal through the sidechain of the gate on our synth. I can think of no better signal to use than a kick drum. So let's load a drum kit into the next MIDI channel. Go to the browser, select drums, and add a kit. It won't matter which kit you choose because we won't end up hearing the kick drum anyway. You'll see in a minute. I'll right-click in the first clip and choose Insert MIDI Clip, or Control-Shift down. Then I'll scroll down to the bottom, set the grid to 30 seconds, and using the pencil tool, key Command B, enter in 4 notes. Now, pull the loop bend bracket to the end of the first beat, so we're only looping 1 beat. Here's what it sounds like. I'm going to mute that channel because I don't need that signal going to the speakers. I need it going to the gate effect to make my synth stutter. Go back to device view on your pad synth and use the drop-down triangle on the gate effect to access the extended controls. Enable sidechain and select the track that has your kick pattern. Now tap the spacebar to start playback and observe the kick drum signal coming through the meter on the gate. Make sure the record button is enabled on your synth and that the gate window is in focus. You'll see the blue hand in the title bar of the gate effect when it is. We're going to need to adjust the threshold, that's the level of the signal needed to open the gate, and the return, or the level that closes the gate. To get a stutter, these two levels will be very close to each other. Now, play a chord and hold it out. Adjust the threshold so that the level is just at the tops of the peak of the kick drum coming in. Adjust the return just below. Use your ear and pick an effect you like. Once you have a stutter that you like, put your metronome on and record the following chord progression. You may remember that we did a C to F chord project a long time ago, when we moved a C chord, the top 2 notes of this C chord, up to F and made a second inversion chord, and then we moved them back down. We're going to do kind of the same motion, except we're going to start on A minor as our starting point. Here's A minor in root position. I'm going to move these top 2 notes. The C goes to D and the E goes to F. This makes a D minor chord in second inversion. I'm then going to move this down to G in root position. The whole thing just goes down a step. And I'm going to do the same motion. Then I'm going to move this chord down a step again. Now I'm on an F chord in root position. But instead of moving these top 2 notes up again, we're going to move every note down a half step, like this. Then we're going to move the top 2 notes up a step instead of down. This brings us back to A minor in first inversion. So here's what the whole 8-bar progression should sound like. This will be the main idea of your next project. Add bass and drums, of course, but use animation and panning and everything else that you've learned in this class too. Try this too. Go back to device view and make sure that the synth is in focus. Enable session record and hit play. Then tweak the filter control. This will record all your automation onto the clip. You could, of course, wait on the automation until you have the whole piece finished and then record your automation in arrangement view. I'll leave that up to you. Before you submit to SoundCloud, make sure you have the following details in your project. Good luck!